Welcome, collectors, as we continue on with day 2 of Hobby Palooza 2024. Up next, we have got a special treat with a live stream that three guys you do semi-regularly. That would be Dustin, the sports card dad, Flippin' Steve, and Neo Cards and Comics with their off-centered stream with a lighthearted look at the hobby. So that'll be up next. But before we get there, Hobby Palooza is dedicated to raising money here for a very worthy cause, Signatures for Soldiers. And I've got a little informational video to show you how to send money yourself. So check that out. The official charity of Hobby Palooza 2024 is Signatures for Soldiers. Since 2014, it has been their mission to help serve those who served our nation when it called on them and who now need our help. They work in cooperation with other charitable organizations to assist veterans with disabilities, homeless veterans, and existing members of the armed forces and their families who need extra support. Their efforts have been documented in Forbes and Beckett magazines. They will be operating a booth at the National, which is their biggest fundraising event of the year, as it includes a charity auction with the support of Heritage Auction House. For more information, visit signaturesforsoldiers.com. To donate to Signatures for Soldiers for our Hobby Palooza event, please use PayPal Goods and Services to send your money. Last year, Mike's PayPal account was frozen by too many people using friends and family. I will happily donate the PayPal P myself to make your donation whole. Send it to jecoffma@yahoo.com. That was jecoffma@yahoo.com. For every $10 donated, you will have an entry to one of the pieces of artwork created by Scott of Reindeer Studios or Eric Fourleaf that they will be making live on their Hobby Palooza show. Additionally, for collectors have 50 exclusive quad auto channel cards available to the first 50 people who donate and request one. In the notes section with your PayPal payment, at a minimum, please include your YouTube handle. If you want to get one of the autographed channel cards, also include your mailing address. Every dollar collected will be presented by check to Signatures for Soldiers at the National in Cleveland. Thank you for supporting this worthy cause.
What is going on, everybody? How are we doing? Rob, Neo, I feel like I just talked to you like yesterday.
We've seen a lot of each other the last week between
Heroes Con.
Between Heroes Con for a full day and then the Steve's National giveaway on Wednesday.
It's funny. I was just on the phone with my mom, and we don't talk every day, so we just got like caught up in a conversation. And I look up, and it's 12:56, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I got to get off the phone. I got to run." And I sprinted upstairs.
Actually set an alarm for 12:45.
Yeah, I can't believe that I missed that. But anyway, I did text with Steve, and he is running a few minutes behind, but he will be here. I know Mike Petty's looking for Flippy, and he is coming. He is coming right
up. Show Crazy Daisy running late.
Crazy Daisy's probably throwing a fit that he's getting on another live stream. We do have John Reckoning in the house, and we just want to remind everybody that Michael Jackson is the son of Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. Say it loud, say it proud. Check out, actually don't remember, John, your channel name, but there's a lot of research around this that's on the internet, on the World Wide Web. I just literally got back around 10 last night from Chantilly. It was a quick trip out to Chantilly Card Show. Just put a video out on that here a little bit ago, but that was a fun show. That was a good one. You went in April, right? You went to Chantilly.
Yeah, which I think was that their last one? I don't remember how often that show is.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the one Steve and I went together. I was there Friday and Saturday for that one and came home Sunday. That was the one I woke up Sunday morning, my wife and I to leave, and we went to start the car and the battery was dead.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I like it where that venue is situated with restaurants and hotels and stuff. There's a lot of options right there, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and Steve tipped us off to the Air and Space Museum that's 5 minutes from there. That's freaking awesome.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to hit that next time.
They have the Space Shuttle Discoveries in there. There's like an SR-71 Blackbird in there. There's all sorts of crazy stuff.
Me and my dad, I think I told you this. My dad was a colonel in the Air Force, and his dad was also a colonel in the Air Force. And he used to fly. My dad's dad was a pilot, and they have an F-102 that he actually flew, the actual plane, because it's got like the serial number on the back fin, and it's in that, I think it's in Dayton.
Right. Patterson Air Force Base has a museum.
That museum is insane. Have you been to that one?
No, but I drive past it for work quite a bit on 70 there.
Yeah, that museum is sick. I didn't realize that there was one though in Chantilly. I'll have to go check that out. And it's actually good to know, because when my dad comes to the area, that's something where we can just go and chill.
It's awesome because you don't have to actually go downtown for it. And it's pretty big. We spent better part. That's where we went Saturday afternoon when we were down there. So how was the you were dealering it up this time? What was the repackers wipe you out on day one? What happened?
You know what's weird is I didn't really see that, but again, maybe it just wasn't. Maybe they just didn't like what I had. But you know what? I
don't think they want. They're not building the upside down repack. So
I didn't bring much of that. I had a couple of Stranger Things cards, but I brought probably like 40 like Bowman U quarterback slabs as bait. I had the bait out. I was throwing blood in the water, and nobody came by. Now I think that maybe they did come by, but they didn't bite on it. So I don't know if I just didn't have the stuff they were looking for, but. Yeah, I did not see them.
You were overpriced.
Maybe. I don't know. No, actually, and I'm one where I'm happy to move something like I paid 100, I'm asking like 125, and even if it's, I mean, like I'll break even on some cards just to kind of I priced up cards so I had a little bit of a strategy where I probably had 40 or 50 slabs, but I only priced up maybe like 10 of them. I did that purposely so that for the ones that they look at, those were all priced really well, like priced to move. And I did sell some cards, but it is what it is. I didn't sell out or anything, but there also just wasn't a lot of people that were looking for that stuff yet. I actually think that June just being kind of a slow football month, it's kind of like that lull before we get to the preseason stuff and training camp. I think that next month is really going to be the month where it heats up, where people are looking a lot more for that sort of thing. Everyone's still kind of, enjoying their summer days and doing baseball and, all that stuff.
I think June in general is pretty slow because we're kind of in that summer lull right now. Like, do you really, I mean, I kind of went through this, and I think you did too, walking around Heroes Con last week. It's like, do I want to spend this money here, or would I rather just save it for the National?
Exactly.
I think a lot of people are in that same mindset of, like, even walking around Chantilly, they were probably like, do I want to buy this $200 card here, or would I rather have an extra $200 in my pocket in Cleveland in 2 weeks?
It's a good point. Yeah, I do think there was certainly a lot of that. I did get, so for those that don't know, that might see this later or in the chat, Chris, baseball card investor, collector, dealer, did a Price is Right challenge. I was invited to it as a steep underdog. And it turns out that I just went through these guys like butter, just cut through them like butter. And when I was at the show, Chris gave me my prize, and it's a Flawless Breeze on card auto, really cool card. I did not expect him to give me anything, so it just kind of floored me a little bit, but generous Chris. I know everyone loves his channel for good reason. The guy's just like all around nice guy. As far as big pickup goes, I got the 84 star. This is the Rookie of the Year. So there's four main cards from that 84 star rookie set, rookie in quotation marks, if you will, depending on which side you're on for Flair or for Star. But this is one of the four. So I've got 3 out of the 4 now. I just need the oversized, that 5x7 Court Kings card, and I've got all 4 of them. So we've almost got we added another Infinity Stone. That was
you only need one to complete the gauntlet.
Only one more, and then the upside down becomes part of the real world.
Does that oversized one, does that sell for like super crazy money, or is it actually cheaper than the regular ones?
It can. I think it really depends on the grade. My buddy, I think he's got the highest graded one. He's got a PSA 8, and but I would be fine having a 4 of that card. It's like, you've probably seen them at shows and stuff. They're massive. They're it's like way bigger than a normal trading card. So the idea you're going to get like a 9 or a 10 on it is pretty slim, I think. What's up, Steve? How's it going, man? Were you out sunbathing?
Doing good. I thought we were starting at 2, and I thought it was yesterday.
You thought it was yesterday at 2.
So I was a day early and an hour late.
So you've been on the stream for 24 hours, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't much to talk about. No, we were talking about the National, though, and we did the giveaway and everything. I'm starting to try to figure out what I want to try to hunt. I've kind of been in a rut in the hobby when it comes to figuring out the card I want to buy to collect next. Because like I said, I don't target anything particular. I just wait for something to feel right. And it's been a while. And honestly, and I know you guys are always like, Steve's here to be the Debbie Downer, but honestly, for me, it's been tough to make me. It's been tough to make me want to flip cards because, you know, I buy and sell cards to fund my collection and not pay my bills. So that extra work that I usually put into flipping cards to build my collection, I haven't really done anything in a month or so besides sell my PSA slabs that I've been getting back, but I haven't been continuing with the flipping because I haven't felt like a motivating factor as far as, man, I want to get this card, so I got to flip, generate the revenue for it, because I don't have that end goal in target right now. It's made it really tough, especially now with the summer months and things, to continue with the grind of the flipping, because, you know, I don't see the reward there as far at the end. Now, if this was my livelihood, like many there are that this is their livelihood, then I would have to continue to grind and buy and sell cards constantly to pay my bills. But because I'm having a hard time pinpointing what I really want to buy, especially at the National or to add to my collection next, it's made it tough to really just put myself through the ringer.
Now, the stuff you've been selling, have you been building kind of a war chest for the National to be able to buy a PC thing, or is it, how are you doing that?
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was to throw a direct number out there right now with what I have flipped since January, because I haven't bought myself a PC card other than one Star Wars card, and that was very much at the beginning of the year.
The Jackie at Culture Collision.
Well, the Jackie. Okay, so the Jackie I bought with money that I strictly made at the show. You know what I mean? All my inventory at the show I sold, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go home with a nice amount of money, but I also want to go home with a nice card. So that was the payoff there. The payoff for going and setting up was buying that Jackie and coming home with it. But what I've done since January through mainly April, buy cards, send to PSA, you know, where I've had 150 slabs out at one time. Now I'm getting them back. I've probably sold 100 of them, and the rest of them I just kind of want to consign to get them done and over with. But I'm probably sitting on a 10K nest egg that I want to buy myself something with, but it's like I don't, you know, and that's not like a problem. That's, you know, third world problem. You know what I mean? But
I just don't know. Genie's throwing body blows at you, Steve. he's going to. No, I'm just kidding. He's not. By the way, not to cut you off, but I want to shout out Mike Petty for an epic rant on Sports Card Radio. I caught that. Actually, I was driving to Chantilly and watching the Sports Card Radio stream. I actually reached out to the Sports Card Radio guys, told them it was a good stream. But that was really funny. I caught that part. I was like, oh my God, Petty's on here. That's awesome. Hey, John, I already shouted out Michael Jackson, Ross, all that stuff.
That's a good idea.
I shouted it out already.
The thing that he's actually talking about, I featured it in one of my videos once. I do really think it's an awesome piece of music memorabilia, whether or not you believe in his story or not. That it's just really cool because it's from my childhood. It's got a bunch of musical artists that are super cool, and it's a really neat item. The item that he speaks of, it would be cool for pretty much anybody, even if you weren't a music collector. But yeah, I've looked at that. I really, for me, it's about getting another vintage card because I slowly build my vintage collection. But it's like I've talked to you guys. I'm like, okay, I've got a nice lump sum of money. Do I want to go out and buy one or two, maybe really high end or highly graded? Or do I want to go out and buy maybe 5 or 6 more of the low to mid range and then build, have more quantity in my collection? Yeah. More quantity as opposed to, I have more cards at less value per card as opposed to less cards at more value. Because there's a lot of vintage rookies that I want. But
weren't you looking at a Jim Brown PSA 6?
Yeah. But that's 6? The thing. Like, do I want a Jim Brown PSA 6 and kind of below half of my budget, or do I want a Jim Brown PSA 4 and then I can also buy the 3?
Or then I can also,
But then I could also, oh yeah, SGC. Either way, I like my vintage in SGC. You know that my Willie Mays is in SGC. But
Totally.
But or do I want to go that route where I could get lower grades and get 3 or 4 players that I really want? For some reason, I can't. I've never seen this player play. I don't even know a lot about the history of this player. I know my grandfather, other than Stan Musial, always talked about this player. And so I've been looking at rookie cards of like Jimmy Fox. But it's confusing to me as somebody who's not super versed in the vintage game, that I know that he has the 33 Galaxy, but then there's other kinds of cards that he has out there that actually I think are
looking their chops at these questions. The chat, there's
I know. I think I've actually reached out to Mangini at one time on Instagram when that card was piquing my interest. But that's a nice that's a cheaper vintage rookie, you know, under the $1,000 range that I could really add to my collection and feel like it was a good piece to add, not necessarily because of investment potential, but because it holds a little bit more value to me from a player standpoint. Because my grandfather and I, we talked baseball some. We mostly did outdoor activities. He was an outdoorsman. We fished and things like that. But whenever he talked about baseball, it was Stan Musial and then Jimmy Fox, and I have the Stan Musial. So I feel like if I got that card, it would be a feel-good piece for myself. And he's a great player from all aspects that I've seen, other than, you know, not being around to watch him play.
Which set is that, man? John Mangini, do you know, is there like what year and everything? So we look it up.
You know, maybe at the National, I can make it into a little content thing where I can get with some of the guys that are really well versed in the National. Like the year that I went and I needed to buy a Mike Schmidt rookie one year from my uncle, but he wanted the OPG, not the tops, and he wanted it in a PSA 7 or better. I actually found that card hunting it at my first National we went to in Chicago back in 2021 or whenever that was. And I also bought my first vintage card there, and that was the 54 tops Ted Williams orange. So, and I hunted those down with Ryan from Breakout Cards because he was really into vintage, and that was my first ever, you know, going around the tables and looking at vintage and knowing what to look for and knowing what the eye appeal there was and knowing what price ranges were good. And me and him did that, and he shot it into he shot quite a bit of that into a video, and it was just a fun time. It wasn't just buying the card and getting the card and feeling good about adding it to my collection, but it was also the camaraderie of him teaching me and helping me, and you know, just us hanging out and socializing, which to me is going to be the highlight of the National for me this year. I will want cards, but I don't even think I'm going to take my Pelican case. If I do take it, I'm not taking it to the floor. I want to enjoy the floor and the cards and stuff for what more so for what they are this year than I have any other year. I don't want to be hustling and carrying my case and feeling like I have to be here, there, and try to make these deals and things like that. I just want to go find a nice card and hang out. So
that's kind of the National that Steve didn't bring his case with him. He cried the whole time because he didn't have his case. That was a trade night. You know, to show up at a trade night without a case is. But are you going to run all the way back to your house to get your case for the trade night?
Well, here's the thing: I don't even know if I'm going to have enough inventory that I want to take. A lot of the inventory that I have is stuff that I just need to consign or sell online. I only have a handful of cards that would be worthy of a trade night. So I don't really even need to carry them in a case. And I'm not bringing. No, it's the dingus. Hold on a second.
Lord. Oh Lord.
I cut down to this. I just bought the new. I have the small Zion case now. It's nice to carry around. It's only one row.
I'm gonna do the same thing. Kind of a smaller. I'm not bringing a giant case. I learned that.
Yeah, this is the one that comes in the backpack.
Yeah.
I picked up one of those backpacks. And actually, I end up using this case in my own backpack versus the Zion backpack, but I like that size of case.
What's your plan, Neo? Have you already kind of mapped? I think you actually said you were still mapping out your plan, but do you have a prelim plan?
Not really. I wanted to get through Heroes Con and see how much money I spent there. That was the big key factor. And, you know, now that I've gotten out of that, but I was actually talking to someone about this today. I don't really have, there's only 2 really bigger cards that I'm looking for, and I don't know that I'll make a run at them this year. I want a LeBron rookie refractor, and I want the LeBron guarding Kobe Topps Chrome refractor. Those are the only 2 like nicer cards on my hit list. Other than that, it's probably going to be, because the Nationals in Cleveland, like, I'm hoping people will have more like random 90s inserts of like Indian stuff. Like if a dealer picked up a random Manny Ramirez low numbered insert throughout the year, they're going to save it for the Cleveland National. So I'm hoping like random stuff like that turns up, but like I don't have a specific one that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing would be, you know, I always end up getting some cool non-sports stuff. There's usually at least a couple dealers that have something that I'm looking for, whether that's more Star Wars autos or Marvel autos or whatever. So, you know, maybe a LeBron refractor, eyes open for non-sports stuff, and then just like niche Indian stuff from the 90s that I happen to come across, but no real. This is the least specific I've walked into a national, at least a month out, where I have basically nothing on a hit list at present.
Same. I don't have anything. Well, and I've also just spent a lot over the last couple of months. You know,
well, that's everything too. I mean, I just dropped like 5K to 6K at Heroes Con like a week ago. So
I had 1 big Target card and I picked up 2, you know, for all of 2024. And then I've gotten some, so I'm pretty much tapped.
I mean, after the X-Men one, I'm sure you're the same with the Bart the Art and the Star. Like I'm good for the year. Like if I don't pick up anything else big the rest of the year, I'm good. Like I feel like I already won the year getting the X-Men one off the list.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, maybe some smaller things. I did find this was a card. It's not like super inexpensive, but this was 250 or 270. But this is one I've been looking for a while. Actually, Steve, you might remember this card. It's that 2017 capstone, the Vertex capstones, where it's a game on card. And if you're, and actually I'm throwing that up because if you're, I used to have a Kevin Durant card of this as well. So I don't know if there's baseball versions, if there's unlicensed baseball, there probably is. But for football, basketball, those are just awesome cards. It's 2017 Vertex, and they're on card game used patches, and they have different kind of numbering. That one's numbered out of 5, but there's some cool cards in that set. But that's an example of just one that I've been looking for forever. It's not a huge expensive card, but it's just like just an awesome card.
Yeah, I definitely want to find a pop culture card, like Neo was saying. I always try to find something cool. That's usually the card that jumps out and is the surpriser, because all the vintage stuff that I'm talking about, it's easy finds. You know, I'll find the stuff. It's not like I'm going to go to the National and be like, oh, I'm not going to be able to find this Jim Brown rookie. You know what I mean? But it's there's always a non-ball card.
There'll be plenty of Jim Brown rookies on the show floor.
Oh yeah, but that's probably a bad place to buy a Jim Brown rookie.
If only you knew a guy that had
a good place, considering there's so many of them. You know what I mean? Like, because there's actually competition. There's a lot of competition among Jim Brown rookies at the National.
Yeah, they're not hard to find.
The door blew open, so Daisy got a little worried. So I'm showing her that everything is okay. She's like, what am I doing in the middle of the afternoon? We're supposed to be outside doing something. We should be at the beach.
Spritz, she's got one eye kind of shooting off to the side, always looking side-eye. Spritz is the same. One eye is always shooting off this way, looking at something.
That's her guardian eye. That's her guardian eye. That's so she can look at the camera and the side door at the same time.
Her guardian eye.
It's her guardian eye. She's keeping a lookout with that one.
The other thing for me too is that I have Fanatics Fest 2 weeks after the National, so it's kind of like I have to keep that in the back of my head unless I'm planning on walking into
do you think
my ski with like zero budget.
Do you think you're going to get pulled into like kind of like at a Comic-Con where there's some random thing there and you're like, oh damn, this is cool, but you never thought you'd see it there? I feel like that's something that'll happen at Fanatics Fest, where there'll be some cool Indians thing or Browns thing, whatever the hell they're doing, and you're gonna be like, I got to do this. I gotta buy this.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that yet, but I think Fanatics Fest, it's going to be, I think I'm probably going to be less about chasing individual cards there and more about like whatever product exclusives they have.
That's what I mean. Like more, not necessarily even a card, Maybe it's like,
oh yeah.
whatever.
I don't know. I mean, it just depends on what popped up. I feel like most of the stuff's been announced from like the panel standpoint and that sort of thing. I saw I covered it in today's video. They announced a bunch of the autograph pricing for it, but more like, we still haven't heard anything about Topps Chrome basketball or their football products. I wouldn't be shocked if they're probably lining that up to launch at least one of them to drop at Fanatics Fest.
Probably going to be, if they drop Topps Chrome Stranger Things at the National, or that would be that'd be fun.
I just can't see them. Why would they release something at the National when they have their own conference literally 2 weeks later?
Because it's a sports conference. It's not a non-sports conference. It'd be like, wouldn't it be kind of strange to drop a Star Wars thing at Fan Fest?
Well, I'm talking more like the basketball or football, not the Stranger Things.
Oh yeah. No, I just took it off. I took it a different way.
Yeah. Are they actually? Is that actually happening for sure?
Topps Chrome Stranger Things is happening for sure. Yeah.
We don't know when. Just sometime this year.
Yeah, exactly. I think to answer Mangini, I think prices are going to be. This is kind of a tough one too, because some things will be higher and some things will be lower. It's all relative depending on what you're looking for, probably. But I'm sure star card prices, basketball star, is going to be more than last year.
Look, you've been pumping the hell out of them for a month.
It has nothing to do with that. People are finally getting educated on the set. Neo, thank you.
Sure.
Oh, it's awareness.
Is that what we call pumping now? Education.
I just bought a card in the middle of the pump. Actually, I was joking with somebody. I'm going to make a video called the 20-year pump and dump, because that's basically probably what it is, or the 30-year pump and dump at retirement. Yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff that's cheaper than last year, quite a bit. That's my guess. Oh, here comes Victor.
Here comes Victor. Get him, Victor.
I said star. Look, a siren went off in Victor's house. The second I said star basketball, literally, like, he shot down, like Ghostbusters. They shoot down that fire pole.
Like Batman and Robin. He pressed the red button underneath the statue.
Out of a cannon to get to his laptop to comment in the chat. What's going on, Victor? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well.
I hope Victor's coming to Cleveland. I've still not met Victor. We missed each other at last year's National.
I met Victor at the first National I ever went to, going back a few years ago. I met him. I want to have a full-blown debate. Hey, Victor, maybe that'll be content at the National. We can have a whole debate about it. That'd be kind of fun. Some guy
So,
there's only about
my question is,
go ahead, Steve.
what's that? Okay. I mean, I saw some comments where they're saying ultra modern, big money on ultra modern and things like that. I mean, I'm just wondering what kind of effect the repacking is going to play at the National. Will it be just like every other large show, just on a higher, more extreme scale, or will there be more stuff available so that, the everyday buyer or the person who's trying to compete with a repacker, I guess is a better way to say it, has a chance of getting a card at a decent price.
Yeah, I want to see what the lines look like the hit parade lines, like the repacker line.
Yeah.
Like we're paying 100% or 90%. There's probably going to be 100, 200 people deep in those lines.
I mean, the hit parade guys aren't even there's guys that way out by them now. Like they're not even the biggest repack buyer by a mile.
Oh, okay.
They were set up at Heroes Con selling comic book repacks.
Oh, okay. Oh, John Reckoning firing in. Don't tell Victor that, John. Victor's probably on a plane right now trying to find you. All right. How can
it's overpriced and that it's the real rookie is two different things. You could consider it the real rookie and still say that it's overpriced, just depending.
Fair enough. We won't have the Star Fleer. Yeah, we won't have the Star Fleer real rookie debate today. This is not going to be a 6-hour stream where we go through that whole story. How can cards did they even use that term as space? So one thing that's kind of interesting, let me just kind of hit on that. One thing that's tough about non-sports too. I was with my buddy who bought a pack. He bought a sealed Star basketball cards pack. And he's like, what's really cool about this one in particular is it's got the Ronald Reagan rookie card in it. And I was like, oh, really? Because I've got like a 1939 Bridgeport or something, like set. And it's the Ronald Reagan rookie card as an actor. And I guess where his mindset was, I was thinking like Ronald Reagan president rookie card, so depending. And with non-sports, is it the first Harrison Ford card or is it the first Harrison Ford Star Wars card. You know, which one is the rookie card? Non-sports is a whole different ball game. There's all sorts of, if you want to have real debates, get into non-sports rookie, like what's the actual rookie, and you can, I mean, it's endless, absolutely endless. So anyway, go ahead, Steve. You were saying something.
What was I saying?
I don't know. You're on a delay, so I can't.
What was it on?
I can't tell.
Am I on a delay?
Yeah, you're on like a 2-second delay. So your mouth opens, and then like 2 seconds later, it's like.
Oh, maybe I can change my internet connection. Let me see.
Yeah, come off of dial-up.
Now you explain repacks for Card Story, Dustin, while Steve's fixing his internet.
No, Neo, you're the repack guy. You're the one to explain repacks.
I mean, basically, Card Story.
That's better. Neo's explaining repacks.
Hold on, is it better though?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I don't know if I'm still lagging or not.
Oh right. Goodness, this is so on brand for us.
All right, Neo's explaining repacks.
How about now?
I mean, son of a...
John,
yeah, that's a fairly accurate statement. It's just with higher stakes now, more gamble and more money tied up into it.
Explain it in vintage terms. You've got 50.
I don't know what a vintage repack would even look like.
Oh, it'd just be okay. So you've got 55 tops commons, 55 Bowman. Let's use 55 Bowman, the TV set. I love that set. So you've got the repack that's whatever, $50 for a repack. It's got 10 cards in it. And the big get out of it is a high grade mantle 55 Bowman. But then there's a bunch of commons thrown in there too. So it's just a mystery pack. And they've been doing mystery packs forever, but
so we just have one thing. We just have someone named Mookie talking about rookies and Wookiees.
Wait, what? Oh, because it's
you brought a comment. Yeah, well, he says rookie cards is different than Wookie cards, but his name's Mookie, so it's kind of like Mookie, rookie, Wookie.
Rookie, Wookie, Mookie. Nice.
Steve, are you on dial-up internet? Do you not have high-speed internet in Delaware?
I'm on my phone.
Oh,
I'm on my phone. That's why I might be.
You look like I'm streaming.
So yeah, I'm on 5G. I'm not plugged into my laptop. I mean, my computer. Desktop.
Your face is like 8 bits. It's all pixelated like an old Nintendo game.
Oh, really?
You look like Ryu in Super Street Fighter 2 on the.
It looks fine on mine. I can go switch.
Yeah, switch over real quick. Switch over because it's weird. It's awkward.
Well, I can stay on here until I switch over.
Okay.
I can be on both, man. You can have double flipping Steve. The ratings will really go up.
I think what I'm probably going to do, going back to the repack thing, is I'm going to start my own vintage repack, but I'm going to put Mangini's name on it. So it's going to be like endorsed by Mangini. So then that way people are like, oh, cool. Like Mangini bought into this. He signed off on this.
See how that,
and then maybe Mangini will pull out his nunchucks at the National and we can just make content around it. I have so many good content ideas. I just need all these people to help execute it.
Flip phone Steve.
Flip phone Steve.
What a comment.
Whew. You know, people think they're funny.
They are. This is the 302 internet showing off. Are you giving away international? Today, Steve? We could start asking quiz questions again.
Oh, I actually wanted to bring that up, to be honest.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say
internet first.
Well, people are starting to set up their fantasy football leagues and things like that. So I was thinking to myself, we just gave away the trip to the National. Do I start reaching out? Do we do another fantasy football league this year for next year? When do I start doing that? When do I start looking for people, asking people?
I think we probably need to delete a couple of characters off of the roster and maybe add a couple new ones just to have, some new flair. Maybe also we had some couple of trash talkers, heavy trash talkers that could.
But also, do we up it?
So you're saying you want kicked out of the league, Dustin?
No, actually, the biggest trash talker, Jay, he was great. Keep him in. But we got
We need Dustin in because that's free money because he sucks.
We got a couple dopes in there that need to get the boot. So we need to look in the chat here. Let's get Mike Petty in. Let's dump a couple of these guys. Get Orlando and Mike Petty in the league. Splendid sports cards. I've already got the two guys that won the $250 second place thing. So the guy was like, "What about let's target like a Stroud Silver Prism PSA 9." And so I'm like, okay, and I go and take a look, and they're all like 250 to 300. I'm like, and then I got to pay tax and stuff. I'm like, bro, you're killing me.
I thought you were buying it at the National though.
No, well, here's the problem: is if he wants a PSA 9 Silver Prism Stroud, it's probably gonna be more than two. Like right now, that's kind of like a $250 card. It'll be more at the National. It might be easier for me
to never know. You got time on that card. There's still more hitting the pop report. Dustin, I don't know if you know this. Graded supply is increasing on that card.
I'm the king of that. I'm the king of it. But so are you telling me that you think it's going to be cheaper at the National? The Stroud Silver Prism 9?
I don't know that it's going to go up a percentage amount that crazy that you can't negotiate one for around that price.
I think it's going to be 300. I don't think it's going to be drastically different. I don't think it's going to be like 500, but I don't think it's going to be 250.
I hope they go up. I have a PSA 10. I'm looking to go.
I'll tell them, hey, let me buy it for you 4 weeks into the season, and then it'll be 180.
It'll be like $150 card.
Exactly. You can get two of them. Wait until week 4 or 5, and you can get two of them at 250.
Maybe you can get a PSA 8.
What do you mean? It's a 9.
I know. I'm saying maybe you can get a PSA 8 for 250.
Oh. I got you.
Oh. Myself.
Bink Scott says, anybody here collect?
Oh, you got rid of.
Whoa. John, delete Steve off of this thing forever.
You got rid of Flipping Steve for Doppelganger Steve.
Oh my God, dude. You had 24 hours to prepare for this, Steve. You thought it was yesterday.
No, I didn't. I didn't have 24 hours. I did think it was yesterday at first.
Bink Scott, I would say we do collect what we like. So for Neo, I'll speak for Neo briefly. X-Men stuff, as well as Manny Ramirez and Cleveland Browns players, Myles Garrett. I'm a Drew Brees guy, New Orleans Saints. And then I also collect Stranger Things cards, which I think there's like 7 or 8 other people on Earth that collect those. So I'm not following a crowd. If I'm following a crowd, it's a crowd of like 7 people. And then Steve collects a variety of different things too for he like music cards for long term and
so
baseball.
And I talked earlier about my PC and how I don't, I add 1 or 2 items. I have what is my high end, especially when you're talking about monetary value PC. And then I have stuff that I do just buy that's cheaper that I don't necessarily show or talk about a whole lot. And I have a lot of that stuff. I mean, if you're talking about my music sticker personal collection, that's loaded. I mean, I got tons and tons of Panini Contanti stuff and smash hits and old Hollywood and actors and things like that with my sports and some of my higher end pop culture stuff like my Stephen King autograph card and things like that, and my Star Wars dual auto that I got at the National last year. That's in a different those are like 2 separate collections to me. One of them is one of them's in the closet in the safe. The other one's in this room with me right now in a case. So,
yeah, I collect a lot of non-sports.
A lot of non-sports stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it typically is more scarce too, depending on what we're talking about. But usually it is, the autographs.
Fun too. I mean, I just got the Favreau auto that I showed not that long ago. Like these don't pop up that often.
I bought 2 there was 2 there was more than 2, but there was Walmart had Optic basketball yesterday. Like a lot of it, like not blaster boxes, mega boxes. They had like 2 rows of mega boxes, probably like 20 of them. So I grabbed 2 of them. I haven't bought a mega box retail, man, probably in 2 years. So I'm like, this is a Wemby product. I'll buy this. I'll put it away. Maybe it'll go up in value. Maybe not. At least it'll always have hopefully have a player considered desirable. I can give it away on the channel, something. I rung it blast or mega box up. It was $60. $60. I paid $120 for 2 optic basketball retail mega boxes. Now,
Wow.
Just to kind of put that into perspective, because I'm not a person that buys wax. Maybe every now and then, if I walk in a retail store and there's something there that I feel like I can put away in the closet, I'll buy 1 hanger box or 2 or something. I don't buy it all. And it's $120 though, that say you wanted to just go single shopping. Right.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So I'm like, man, the price of 2 retail mega boxes is $120, which is a nice amount of money if you want to go out and try to find yourself just a nice single, or even towards a nice single. Say there's a card you want for $200. I didn't realize how expensive retail product had gotten until yesterday. And
those
and
are expensive comments.
It just seems like it kind of builds an even stronger foundation onto why people are buying repacks. Not that I'm pro repacks, but
well, it's why they're popular.
Right. Like you could take $100 and buy a repack product and you're probably going to get at least a decent single out of it. May not be. So I don't know.
It's even better as a Mangini endorsed repack product, the upside down repack product. Your upside down, your wallet will not be upside down. I'm going to put Mangini's face on the side of the box. Mangini, bring the nunchucks to Cleveland. Bring the nunchucks for the content.
Yeah, wax pricing is absolutely insane now. Like Topps Chrome went up for pre-sale this week at a massive increase compared to last year and a bigger inflated checklist. Like,
yeah, and I'm
a blaster of Topps Chrome is $40 on Fnatic.
Actually, to put that slightly into perspective, again, now that I think about it, even along other terms, from my personal experience, the last show that I bought a card at, which you're going to have to go back to the Philly show because Chantilly didn't buy anything. And I bought 3 1990s cards, or one was a 2000, I'm sorry. The other one was not a 1990 either, just 1990 players. I bought a Brett Favre gold finish refractor from 2000, a Brett Favre Fleer Ultra, the Platinum Portraits inserts, and I bought a gold refractor Topps Chrome of JJ Watt. And I believe I got all 3 of those cards for right around the $120 price tag. And those are 2 really good players, high-end parallels, a really rare insert. I've since graded that JJ Watt and sold it for like $150. So I still have the 2 Favres that I want to submit to PSA, but I'm just thinking to myself, man, and I bought those mega boxes now, but I'm just thinking, man, there's so much better use. I probably could have made of that money, thinking how I spent like $120 or $130 on those 3 cards at a show, already flipped one for $150 to pay for all of them with grading fees. And I still have the other 2 to sell off and grade. So,
well, and I can see why a lot of the heavy vintage collectors in the chat, if you're talking about $120, I mean, you can get some really like a really good card for 120. I mean, like a nice Bart Starr 2nd year, 3rd year or something. I mean, you can get a nice card for $120 on the vintage side. There's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. And you mentioned Bart Starr. I really am wanting to add my first vintage football card or basketball, something not baseball. It's just baseball. There's so much that I want, but I also feel like I want to get a vintage card of another sport into my collection. I'm thinking Jim Brown or something like. I wouldn't mind getting myself another Bird Magic rookie just because that's my favorite basketball card ever.
I want that card too. Yeah.
My 8, I had a BVG 8. I really would rather have a PSA 8 or better. So I'll see what I can do. Maybe something like that at the National. That card just has so much history and the players on it. I just feel like it'll always be super relevant. And it's a card from my childhood that I was never able to get. So I owned one, sold it. I just kind of want to up the grade on it.
The greatest living baseball player is obviously Kenny Powers. Like, what are we even talking about?
Yeah, Orlando. A Walter Payton rookie would be awesome too. That card
I've got that card.
growing up was always a card that if somebody on the block had it, you're like, oh my God, they got a Walter Payton rookie. That and the Joe Montana. The Walter Payton went back even further, where we would, where when we were kids, we weren't even sure if it was their rookie card, and we would call up the local card shop and be like, they would answer the phone, and we'd be like, could you tell us if this is so and so's rookie card? And they would be like, they would get so annoyed sometimes. We'd call them up and ask them what cards were worth, because we didn't have Beckett. The Beckett's were out, but we didn't have Beckett's, and the closest, for a 10-year-old kid, the closest LCS was 30 minutes away, and your mom doesn't have the money to drive you there and stuff. So it's like, we call them up. How much is a Joe Montana rookie worth? And they would answer. We'd call them 10 minutes later because we'd be trying to trade.
Do you remember looking at the back of the card? And then another way you could kind of try to figure out if it's a rookie is how many years they had listed of stats. There'd be certain players where it'd be like, if there's only that 1 year, then it was the rookie card.
Yeah. So, and that was our rule of thumb normally, because typically they printed a card the year after someone's actual rookie campaign. So, Dan Marino was a rookie in 1983, but his rookie card was in 1984.
Yeah.
But some players weren't like that. And then some players had XRCs and things like that. The 85 tops, I remember Warren Moon and being like, is this Warren Moon's rookie card? Well, he has Canadian League, so in Beckett, it would say rookie card and have like 2 asterisks by it, because apparently he had like Canadian Football League cards that I don't even know what sets they would have been in. But then, of course, everybody knew about the USFL cards that were the XRCs. And to be fair,
the 86 Fleer Jordan also had the 2 asterisks, but just didn't, when they went to go print, they just, it got messed up at the print.
Oh, it didn't stick. So, but I want to have that's a question that I have, because were Topps USFL the 84 and 85? It was the 84 and 85 years, the sets.
Yeah.
Were those packs, or did you have to buy them in sets? How were those cards obtained? Because I've never seen them in stores or anything like that. Does anybody know?
We need
Chad help us out.
That USFL
84, because those back in the day, those were like really pricey, super hard to find. You can find them now because of the internet and things like that. But I mean, you never saw the USFL rookie cards. They were super hard to find. And you would look at them in the Beckett, and they would be so much more expensive, like the Herschel Walker and the Reggie White. Then you get the Herschel Walker 87 tops, and there's a big difference. The Jim Kelly, the same thing, 87 tops as opposed to his 84 USFL. Steve Young, 86 tops, but he had and those USFL cards were always really expensive. So I'm wondering now if people are considering those now to be the true rookies.
Yeah, because, like Reggie White, I remember 86 tops versus like the USFL, but I think that most football card collectors view the USFL as the rookie card, from what I've seen.
Do you think so? Because they're not in a pro uni or an NFL uni.
I think a lot of people go by that first year, that's that first card, type thing.
Now, are you saying that because in relationship to the Michael Jordan situation?
No. I just seriously, I've been on videos where I've been talking about 86 tops players, and they're like, no, that's not it. It's the USFL card.
Yeah, I know now. I think people would rather have those USFL cards. And like I said, they were more desirable back in the day from a monetary standpoint. They were just really hard to find. So
carddeal.com is saying box set for you. I'm assuming he's talking about USFL cards.
Yeah. So you bought the box and they came in the sets then. So, I mean, they weren't pack pooled. You just basically bought the set and you got them all. And that's kind of along the same lines of all the old Topps traded sets, Fleer update sets, things like that. The funny thing is if you go to 1989 Topps, his 89 Ken Griffey Jr.'s 89 Fleer, 89 Topps, and 89 Score all came out of the traded and update sets. Fleer update, Score traded, Topps traded. And I guess people consider them rookies and not XRCs, because he does have pack pooled 89 Don Russ rated rookies and 89 Upper Deck star rookies and 89 Bowman. So some of the sets, so they're from the same year. Some of them are pack pooled. Some of them are obtained through a set. So then by rookie card definition, how are you labeling them even though they were printed in the same year?
Well, whose rookie card definition?
That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, yours. I mean, this is just a hypothetical question. I'm not
You
saying
can't go by
anything right
Dustin
or wrong.
though, because he thinks the star is the true Jordan rookie.
Yeah, I don't want to throw my bias into the mix. We'll let everyone can have their own opinion on that.
But I mean, typically an XRC card is usually printed the year before the person's actual what they would consider the rookie card. That's why it's XRC and RC, and usually they're a year ahead. Like the 84 Fleer update Roger Clemens, and then you got the 85 Fleer Roger Clemens. But when they're printed in the same year and coming out in the same sets, the same thing goes for some like 90 score supplement. That the 90 score supplement, the Emmitt Smith in there always held more value than the Pro set and the tops.
Ryan nailed it. The Bobby Hebert 84 USFL, greatest card ever made.
Right. Yeah, but you had a Bobby Hebert on the picture of your thumbnail the other day, and it was the 86 tops.
Right next to me. Yeah.
Well, why did you use the 86 tops?
I didn't say it was his rookie card. It's just my favorite card.
I didn't say you did. I'm just asking why you used the 86 tops.
Yeah, no, I like the 86 top set. I just like it. I don't own the USFL card, not because I don't want it or anything, but I just don't own one. But I like his face on the. Hold on, I've got it right here. It's never too far away from me. It's never too far away. But look at his face. That is typical, like Saints. That was my face watching the Saints play football in the 80s. Actually, really most of the time I've been alive. But I love Bobby Hebert's face on the 86 tops. It's classic.
He got some poop on his lip or something.
He's like, what the
what did that smell?
What are we doing?
Stepped in some dookie on the field.
Pretty bad. No, he was okay at times, but the defense, it's sad for the defense because the defense was really good and the offense just couldn't put it all together. We weren't bad, though. We weren't bad. Those Don't Patrol years were really good.
We got 3 minutes left, boys. What do we want to hit on?
Neo, I feel like you should talk for the last 3 minutes. Go ahead, talk like Pump Cavs, the Cleveland Cavs 2025 season. How are you
bringing Mitchell back? Mitchell's coming back.
Is that right?
That's my prediction.
What do we think about JJ Redick just starting a podcast and getting an NBA coaching job? I wonder
if he's going to keep the podcast. Is LeBron and Redick still going to have the podcast? Like after they lose, is he going to go on there?
Are we up for coaching jobs now? Like, should we be putting our resumes in? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe you can coach it.
I see the carddeal.com. That card, I immediately thought of that when I brought up this discussion. Carddeal.com is the 82 tops traded Cal because Cal was my favorite player growing up, and I always had the tops, 82 regular tops with 3 players on it. I think that might be why people desire the tops traded more because it's just him on a solo picture. That's actually the card that Topps used for their Project 2020 set. That image, remember when they did all the artists did all their renditions of some of the rookie cards? It was Cal's 82 Topps traded card. The traded sets might have even been a little bit more rare back then because I remember, everything was a little less printed, but probably even more so the extended sets because I remember in 89, the Topps, everything was super overprinted, but the traded sets and extended sets were also printed very heavily. I think like Fleer Update from 84, that was always a hard set to track down. Even 83 Topps traded with like the Darryl Strawberry in it was always tough stuff to track down. And then you had some sets that were just seemed to be printed less than others, like 84 Don Russ. I remember the Joe Carter being a huge chase card in that when I was growing up and being worth a lot more than all of his other cards just because it felt like 84 Don Russ was super hard to get. Now, mind you, that's before we had the internet and everything now has become accessible. But, that stuff just wasn't seen, when we're going around to card shows at the local mall or even flea markets and things like that. And the friends that are the cards that my friends and myself had, we didn't have the 84 Fleer updates and the 84 Don Russes. I mean, we had the tops. That's what was able to be found.
Yeah. I think going back to the Lakers and Redick, I think that's just for the content because obviously Redick's going to get fired after a year, like every Lakers coach that's with LeBron. But that'll be kind of a good dynamic for the podcast. So I think it's all just for the content. Everything's all just for the content in the end. That's what it boils down to.
Gotta get them views.
That's it. Although I need to try harder. I've been a little bit. Lately I've been just very basic with titling and stuff. I need to try a little harder on the.
You need clickbait harder.
I need to clickbait way. I need to watch your clickbait has been on fire. I need to. Steve's clickbait's been good, but most of it's just Daisy. That's why.
Yeah, I've been pretty dormant on the YouTube machine. I just
we need another PSA slab test when we get.
Yeah, I know. I've got two that I've got ideas for.
When are you taking it to like a gun range or something? Like
well, no, I don't want to destroy it yet. Okay, it'll eventually get destroyed.
It might withstand a bullet. That thing might. You never know
about that.
Skydiving with a PSA.
I don't want to be flashing a piece on YouTube or anything either. I get the John Morant treatment.
Yeah, fair enough. That's not family friendly.
Right. So it's like I have two tests coming up. One of them is a test that goes together, and then another one is so it's like a dual test, and then I got another one. And then so yeah, they'll be coming up. I just want to work them into a video in an entertaining way, as opposed to being like, hey, check this Aaron Rodgers sleeves out or slab out. This is what I'm going to do to it. Boom. Oh, nothing happened. Or, oh, it's destroyed. I want to work in some little bit of entertainment in there.
All right. John's here to give us the boot, boys.
Thanks, guys.
John, thank you very much for having us again. This was a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing the show here. So, everybody, don't piss away your money on repacks. Go ahead and donate it to the Signatures for Soldiers. A worthy cause. So,
absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
See you.